when I've driven into Buyasela. So we've actually never found one in the wild, and I would say that this is probably one of the first we find in the wild, still in flower. I'm going to get as close as I can, like there. Is that any good? Oh, well, alright, actually that might be better. Because then you'll incorporate more blossoms in the shot. Tracks of elephant heading north on Shambana. Shambana is very north. Sabalala. Heading straight north on the road that heads north. Turn that screen for me, I want to see what the image looks like.
What? This?
No, flip this.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, well actually ultimately we need a link.
Yeah.
But that's nice. And then blossoms of turning this noise down. I've got a couple of guys suddenly talking about elephant tracks and it's distracting me because it's elephant and it's tracks and it's disappointing me because they're heading north, but we've got our own tracks to go and look for. This is known as the Impala lily. It is also known as the Sabi star, Sabi being a particular area here of the Lowveld, the Kruger National Park area. Doesn't matter. Desert rose is another name. It's also known as a desert rose. And that is purebred one. You get Swazicum, the Swaziland one, which is mostly pink. It doesn't have this differentiation between the white and the red. It's a mostly pink flower, but shaped the same, and the plant looks exactly the same, and they tend to flower more frequently, rather over longer periods. I guess they don't ever get dry, so they've learned to flower in wet conditions, so they can flower in the wet season. Coming from Swaziland, it's a different species. And then they're hybrids. Humans have created hybrids that you can buy in nurseries. So if you're looking for it, it's called Adenium. I know some people have bought one in the States. Adenium multiflorum is our species. Adenium swazicum is the Swaziland species. Adenium. And that is a big thank you. It's a flower to thank you all for some wonderful messages. I managed to start reading. There was an e-card that came in just before we went on. Well, I think it had been there, but we'd all been busy, so I opened it up and I started reading, and then I carried on reading, and time started creeping along, and I thought, cool. I had no idea. And then I went to the end, and it was like 100 and something pages later. Considering there's about 2 people saying thanks everybody on each page, there's like nearly 200 people that have sent wonderful messages, and I wish I could have a list of all of your names. I wish I could say thank you to each one of you individually. Okay, shall we find another flower? Make today's mission about finding a flower. We're not looking for animals, we're going to go and look for a flower. The flower we haven't seen. Oh, there's huge crassula. Doesn't have its flower yet, sorry, while we're here. Look at that. Just been complaining about tree stumps and I hit one. This doesn't give us a blowout. That'll develop it's one of the succulents from the Crassulaceae, the Crassula family. has a long stalk with some yellow flower. We've seen other crassulas while we've been here, other succulents. One that has leaves on the flower stalk, this one doesn't. This is Crassula vaginata, I think. And while it is a flower, it's not flowering. If you can consider a plant a flower without it flowering. Because then everything we see is a flower, even the worry. It's just green. Sorry. Now start before you zoom down. I'll do that all the time. I used to try and recommend that I make some signal that I'm starting. You just got to watch me with this. When I press that, it used to be known as the white on with front. See that one? The light, sadly the light doesn't let us see color. And if we have to look at them, they're in the sun. Little family group in there. Ooh. Mom, dad, their children from their last clutch and their children from their new clutch. So basically teenagers and nucleus. For those of you mixed families. We've got teenagers and then after a little while. We so miss having babies. And the whole baby thing, after 10, 11 years you decide to have more. That's kind of the equivalent of white precious almond shrub. Where there's no sunshine through there, you might be able to get it better. That is rather incredible. That's very, very high moisture and ice crystals in the atmosphere. And actually, if it was a little bit higher, say at about, that's probably only at about 20,000 feet or so, 30,000 feet. If it was a little bit higher, it might even create a halo around the sun. Certainly getting to be a really beautiful sky. The weirdest thing is that we've got this big stripe above us. I don't know if you can get this, Aaron. But this big north-south, not that stripe going there, that's nothing, that's just the cirrus cloud, that's part of the cloud. But there's a man-made cloud forming almost a ring, an outer ring, but that's just the contrail of an aeroplane that was there about an hour ago that has just blown totally out of proportion and dragging a lot of cloud with it. So there must have been a lot of moisture that's coming out of that, attaching itself to those carbon molecules. That's what it is. Yeah, see now it's gone.
Oh, it's amazing, man. I was like,
it was. We can try and pick up another one, depending on our angle and the moisture in the side. It's actually getting thicker, that hole. If it gets thicker, we might even get up sleep. Sundog! Funny, I never knew it was called a sundog until I fell in love with an American. But it hasn't changed.
I think it's just aimed towards you more. Because it's like not tilted up kind of at your head.
Maybe it was because I was looking sideways at the moon, at the sun. The moon. It could have been half sideways.
No, but I haven't. Because like.
The thing is, I can't consciously be thinking about the volume of my voice. I'm talking from my heart. I can't be thinking about other things. I want people to feel what I'm talking about. But it's pointless me even saying anything if nobody's hearing anything.
They must reposition it.
7-6 drive. But it's a flower. Okay, that little yellow, I don't even think I know what it is. Well, helps me stop and listen anyway. It's not like there's a harvest moon and I think a thunder moon is a particular moon in North American native North American history or mythology or culture more than anything else. Clancy can help me out there definitely. I'm sure. Clancy, where are you when I need you? But that looks like it could be, just thinking about the name, I'll try and think of it. That's a flower. Okay, let's move along. A little yellow flower. So I'm still attentive. My mind must be wandering and changing gears all the time, but see, that's what it is. Is it like I can just, out of the blue, out of this whole vast area of brown and green, I can find that tiny little flash of yellow. All the ladies out there who deserve a flower every day of their lives, still in its natural habitat, not in a vase, whatever you want to call it, a receptacle, but a flower still attached to its plant. A little bit of a notch in its color, and it's flown away. Okay, very well. Marsha Brown, thanks also for your input about sundogs. So we just had a little patch to the side of the sun, as though there was a sundog, but all we could see were the colors on one tiny little spot, which indicates to me that it wasn't as high, but it's also got to do with the angle of the sun. If the sun was directly overhead, we would have sundogs. But you don't get a sundog, you will never get a sundog when it's like over there for some reason. Only when it's more or less overhead. Early morning, or rather late morning, early afternoon. I might be wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Can you see? I don't know. It's probably.
Got it, sir.
You got it. I mean, it's in that gorgeous acacia. It'd be nice if it came down to drink. Gareth coming? Oh, there he goes. Did you see what I see? Looks like juvenile African goshawk. Okay, copy it. I'll probably go up southeaster then. And that's why we're kind of counting down. We've got like 6.5 drives left. But we are going to be packing up on Monday, and Tuesday will be sort of the final sort of checking over things, making sure we leave as we start, and I guess on Wednesday morning we'll be all moving along. And until I leave the gate, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. I haven't the faintest idea. And I think that is pretty much how I've approached life since the 20th century. Yes. I do something and I leave that something and I have no idea what's coming next, but I put all my faith in the universe that it will bring me what I want and what I... No, wait, let me clarify. There's a very big difference between what you want and what you need. You can get what you want. You strive for what you want. These are my words. You endeavor to find your path to what you want, and you will eventually get that with the power of positive thinking and with belief in yourself and do anything you want to do. But if you make want your primary satisfactory goal, you'll find you'll do what you want, but it may not be what you need. Yes, but maybe I need to turn the car facing it.
It's not too bad from this angle.
Do you think this camera would pick it up?
Oh, well, we could give it a go actually.
I'll sort of turn into it.
Oh.
I'll stop.
Short on video, eh? They're not taking photos.
Yeah.
Double check.
No. Because I'm sure. There's a going. Might be a cheetah around here somewhere. He might just be in the way. Pardon? See there. You know? If I get caught, I get caught. But these grasses. Oh, that's why they were blurry as the casting of a raptor that just flew. The question was... Oh, that's not on. Is that on? That's the question was a very appropriate question relating to elephants, and unfortunately we're not with them anymore. They're moving just a few hundred yards away towards the dam, I hope. A beautiful sunset. But the question was about the matriarchs and what happens when the matriarch dies. And you've got to remember one thing about several things, in that they are to a large extent very much like our societies. As much as we think that we are a male-dominated society, we are still ruled by a matriarchal force that ties us to our mothers indelibly. But elephants, to a very much extent, are more so. The matriarch of a family is the old lady, the grandma, and she lives with her daughters and their daughters. And over time, for millions and millions of years that elephants have been around, matriarchs have been dying. So it's this passing on in the same way as it was when we were a matriarchal society to some extent. And you look at a lot of indigenous people in continents that have not adopted the modern way of life, that still live hunter-gatherer lives, they are also very much matriarchal in there. So when the old lady dies after she's handed on all her knowledge, those daughters of hers then become their own matriarchs. Her oldest daughter and perhaps even her second daughter will become matriarchs of their own family. I'm talking about elephants now, and humans to some extent. Because we do take the line of the mother to more than we admit, perhaps, that the mother is so important in how we grow and what we learn. I still love you, Dad. You were very, very much important. But in elephant society, when the bulls leave going through teenagehood, it is only a female society. There's no other purpose other than for matriarchs to teach their daughters things so that when they pass away, their daughters take over. But it's not that one of them takes over the herd. You might have a situation where an oldest daughter will take over a herd, but you'll also have a situation where two old daughters might decide, well, we're old enough to look after our own herds now, and they split up. Because ultimately what will happen is eventually you just get one big herd of elephant with hundreds of daughters and their offspring daughters, and that's not sustainable. So they split up into their family groups, and they will still associate with each other over time. Beautiful evening. They might even meet up. This is what I think that we've seen today, is that some of these family groups that have been meeting up because they're somewhere along the line, they're all related, and that's why we saw such a big herd of elephant today. They're all related, and for some unspecified period of time, they're going to socialize, they're going to move together, they're going to do things, and in the next few days we're going to see elephant tracks spreading out all over the place because they'll have split up into their individual family groups again. I think I left that elephant sighting in a bit of a mess, but you know what? I'm also reluctant to go. It's such a beautiful sunset.
Just thinking the same thing right now.
We've actually had very, very few. I wish there could be elephants here, but I wish we could have had more. I'm going to switch off in front, or do you think we should let it run?
I think let it run, yeah. Potentially doing a lot.
Maybe that's one you don't have to have. Yeah. Bye. almost impossible to leave the sunset like this. Wow. Peaceful, except for me zipping up my fleece. But there we go. Because I don't know what kind of sunset we're going to have tomorrow or the next day, and I hope that Sundays is a good one, but this is a just in case sunset because it's really pretty. I'm going to move. You're not going to like me.
No, go ahead.
If we just move so that's more open towards the sun, we get more of the cloud. If we just go a little bit more that side, just to get it so we can just sort of do a ow. Oh, that's switching off.
Yeah, I think you didn't switch it off when we did the U-turn.
That means it's a long one.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay. A few years ago, I posted a photograph or two. Well, I've had odd occasions in July and August to see this kind of a sunset. Actually, Aaron, you have to really concentrate on the sun right now. Really, really.
Really?
Yes, like really, really. But I could be just off to the side because now it's getting its most amazing, and we've got to see it drop. We have to see it go. Why is it focusing this thing?
Kentra or Contra.
Oh, that plane going in now. Yeah. That's amazing. I wonder if that's not like the Dubai, Mauritius sort of. Because that's 35,000 feet. That's cruising altitude. Hey, here's a hippo. Oh, that stopped now. Must be Boulder Dam. Way down that way. The third hippo. That one will get it. Actually, but it's too late now. It's too dark. Baby, it's too late now. I got someone else wait for you. I gotta say goodbye. Okay, I think it's time to. I've had my earpiece out. David's probably been calling frantically. I'll leave it there.
Today.
A lot of international flights.
You won't be able to see stars at this time.
No, you better see Venus.
That Venus there, because I can see something in the sky.
Well, it should be there, it should be in the west. So where you
I can see like something there, so I don't know if it's like a satellite or...
Okay, that cloud that comes down, where about?
Okay, you know, it basically, if you look at it, it looks like a really swift 3.
That big one.
Yeah,
that's
well,
the
this
thing
giant
there.
one where it goes, it looks like a big swift 3.
With a 3 with a thingy.
Well, basically, you can see, I basically see 3 lines going 1, 2, 3, and the middle one shorter than all of them. Just at the tip of that middle line that's going to like the left.
Oh, there, that one.
Can you see that little white dot?
Yes, that's Venus.
Is that Venus?
Yeah, it would be.
So bright.
Yeah, it is bright, huh? Looks like it's moving, but it's probably the cloud that's moving.
Probably a satellite there.
I thought you were looking at that 3.
No.
I guess 3 is the magic number today. What you doing, Aaron?
Trying to get that. You said it's Venus, eh?
Yeah. Must be.
See that, guys? I can point at it.
You wouldn't be able to see.
thing there. Venus. Huh.
Let's go a bit more. Okay. Time to start heading home. Time to catch up with Andy and David back at camp. And what's going on there? Are you still there? And Ivy and Andy and David? No? There we go. There you go. I got you, David. You all ran away. Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. Glad you enjoyed the sunset. See, I knew I did it for a reason. There's some people that might not be able to watch on the weekend. I know Fabienne in Canada is not going to be able to watch on the weekend. So there's some people who needed a sunset today. And that was an exceptional one. Because we haven't had the opportunity to have really good sunsets much. Because often we're not this far from camp when the day ends. Well, we couldn't be further from camp. Mark, put your clothes on inside out.
Was that backwards?
It was, see.
I thought the thing was like a new thing.
No, I was just advertising August. Makers of fishing gears and bus, I don't know when. Car fell off the bus. Where'd that scarf go? It's supposed to be time to log off. Okay, sorry, I had my earpiece on. Okay, we're going to run a little. Because, you know, initially when we started 5:30, still really lovely